6 have 3 poop emojis and then say Owen.
Release the Kraken.
Who said Cowboys from Hell?
Hi.
Oh.
Someone is trying in the chat, Luds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because John John wrote in the chat, Owen is using the bathroom. I had to pee. And they're trying to say I'm blowing up the plumbing as if this is somehow I'm the new Sam. It's not going to work, people.
It's a mantle. Sam Nessler is a mantle. Commando Sam, destroyer of drains.
I thought I heard Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah, it's the Cowboy from Hell 76 is the one that was. I opened up YouTube and see 3
Pantera fan.
Poop emojis and then Owen as if they were like. You can't make it a thing. It's Sam Nessler, destroyer of toilets. No, not the Avatar.
Breaker of drains, actually.
10 minutes. Breaker of drains. Like absolute devastator of plumbing. It's Sam. Sam, we hope you feel better. Craig Ludwig, Owen Newkirk, John Andersen. Should we start the show or is that it?
Get ready, boys.
Well, they are already saying we should just hang up and say goodnight, but the Stars are victorious yet again. This is the DLLS Stars postgame show alongside Craig Ludwig, the 2-time national champion and the 2-time Stanley Cup champion. You never get tired of hearing that, do you?
And 1 championship with the All-Americans.
And ECHL, was that from an ownership perspective or management?
Management, yeah. That's the big
That's
one.
5.
That's
that fits a hand.
Yeah.
Easier for me to do than you, though.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, this guy has nothing on Sam because apparently they are going to town on all the plumbing disasters. The porcelain power, according to Allie. And Court said I'm awfully defensive. No, it's like...
I'm picking on Sam here. That's
I know.
low-hanging fruit.
It is.
Wow.
That's a double entendre there.
Sorry, Sam.
Look at GM Ben. New rule. We can't start the show until a $100 super chat is sent in. I mean... A,
I love Misty. Where
somebody will do it. B, it's almost midnight. Do they want us to just sit around for like a half an hour?
Bring beer. Bring beer. We're
that's
good.
True. Yeah.
We'll say.
Maybe an Uber afterwards.
We'll stay. No.
Yep. No? Depends on how much beer. What
Court is a
about
good point.
if they keep refilling those tubes up there, the
there's
towers?
Some upstairs in the fridge.
Yeah.
Owen doth protest too much coming out of the intro there, according to Court.
No, she's just trying to get me riled up. What I find pretty funny is... where'd it go now? Oh, Court said, get off your wallet, GM Ben. That is something that we... Actually, you know what, Luds? I won't say the number, but I found out how much Ben dropped at Cosm buying appetizers for everybody and everything. It was more than a couple big-time super chats. So,
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm sure it didn't come out of his pocket.
I don't know where the money came from. I just know he spent it. So... Probably from our
We could have probably flown Sean in here with some of that.
There's no doubt we could have gotten a plane ticket from Detroit to Dallas for less than what he allegedly spent at Cosmo.
What about
last
home?
week. Yeah, probably round trip. Yeah. You can get pretty cheap deals, I think, from American. But anyway, we'll get to that. Welcome to Stars After Dark. We're going to have some fun tonight. It's late. Kind of excited to get rid of this West Coast time. It's been a long 4-game trip.
Are we done with them now?
Yeah.
We don't have any more left?
Playoffs.
Well, that's a different story.
No.
That's not that bad.
The last couple of road games are at Minnesota.
I don't think we're going to have any West Coast games.
No, but here's the problem. Because we're in the central time zone, we get the second window.
Yeah, the 9
So it'll be an
starts.
8:52 puck drop in a central time zone game. That'll get all of us fired up.
I'm handing in my 2 weeks right now.
John, you have no idea. Just wait. It's going to get late. Because... Why would we
get late early?
Why would we want to have a 7:00 start in Dallas for a playoff home game?
I don't.
Let's go. We can have an East and then a West. That's what's going to happen. We all know it. We've been through it. Get ready now. Get ready, boys. All right.
Get ready, boys.
Thank you. Lads, this was a weird one. All the goals except for the empty netter came in the first couple of minutes of the game, and then we saw a lot of end-to-end stuff.
Oh, this is going to be a short
nothing.
recap then.
You want to recap them right now?
Yeah, let's recap.
Let's do it right now. 62 seconds into the hockey game, the first quality chance I wrote down, I believe it was technically the second shot on goal. Sometimes shots on goals are nothing. Well, this one went in. Kaapo Kakko, low slot from Jaden Schwartz. Not great coverage. 1-0 Kraken.
Do you remember how Sam Steele got hurt and didn't get to play tonight?
Can't forget him
because
crashing
a couple
into...
guys were crossing him and Smith because they were playing man-on-man. Well, it didn't happen tonight, but Kakko brings the puck around the back of the net. Evgeny Dodonov is following him as he comes up. Jamie Benn and Dodonov are ultimately going to meet here somewhere as the puck gets dropped to Jaden. Is it Jaden Schwartz?
It's Jaden Schwartz.
Jaden Schwartz. Well, it gets dropped, and you can see what happens up here on top if you're watching. Jamie kind of plays the old school style where I'm going to be the high winger. I'm going to stay up here. And because Dodonov is trying to follow his guy, he ultimately gets tied up with Jamie, which allows, then they both turn around and they forget all about Kakko, and so does Wyatt Johnston. So as Schwartz comes around the back of the net, Wyatt is covering somebody over there along the wall, his guy that was probably a defenseman, not really paying attention who's coming down the middle of the ice, who is Kakko, and it's a perfect pass, and there is that early goal.
The only guy that's really where he's supposed to be, Cody Ceci. He's in the Craig Ludwig spot. Side of the net, protecting, near the crease to where the danger happens.
Well, he could be blocking a shot, though.
Right, but if you go back one frame, John,
But
go
now-
back one
now
frame,
look at-
there.
look-
That's the Ludwig spot right
and
there.
here's the other thing I have. Go that one frame forward now, John. Look at his partner.
He's watching his man.
I got
He's got my guy.
I have no idea what's going on behind me, but I got my guy.
Essa Lindell's going to make sure Matty Beniers does not score this goal.
Yeah. So
Which he
anyway, here we are. Same old story. But what happened? The Stars win the hockey game again against maybe not a Colorado type team, but bottom line is they won a hockey game.
Before we get to the next goal, GM Ben said that he will fly Sean down to Dallas if he can stay at your house. And he said at Ludz's house.
But then we won't see him anymore.
Can we get Sean a mic first before we worry about flying him in?
Well, he's actually going to be in town for the playoffs.
For the U18.
He's coming for the IHF U18
yeah, he's coming for
World
the U18.
Championships, which are in Allen and Frisco.
Yep.
And so he'll be there. He'll be in studio.
That's the golf tournament day, isn't it?
He's going
Is
to
that
play.
the one?
By the way,
Is he playing the golf tournament?
Luds is so far the Stars show has really shown up for this golf tournament. We're going to talk more about it during our
This is
third
where
break.
we throw the other groups under the bus?
Absolutely.
All right, let's throw them.
Cowboys. Okay, NFL draft is that weekend. We haven't seen anybody sign up to play yet from the Cowboy show. Rangers. I know they were working on stuff. Mavs. Apparently no golfers. There's like 4 Mavs show guys. Nothing. Craig Ludwig. Sold out. Me. Sold out. Foursome with DLLS Stars Sean Shapiro. Available. Get into our site. Go to the events page on alldls.com. You could play golf with Sean Shapiro. I've done it. It's a wild ride, but at least he's willing to play. We've got so many people saying, "Oh, I don't play golf."
Sean would effectively probably tell you all about the game.
He would very effectively tell you about the game. Inside joke right there. So it's
Not
one
anymore.
Well, he's not watching anyway. If he is, we'll tell him about it. So the Stars are down a goal, 62 seconds in. Jason Robertson gets a point-blank backhander on a 2-on-1 with Harley. Grubauer made a really nice save. High danger chance, still 1-0. And the next 2 shots both went in 45 seconds apart. It started with Matt Duchene tipping in a Mason Marchment shot from the right side. Duchene's standing in front of the net. It almost looks like he bunted with like a crossed
I
shaft
don't.
there.
No. You didn't see the shot. The shot was going about 2 feet wide. Well, and Marchment, I don't know if he got a great pass and tried to one-time it. And Duchene is kind of backing. I think he's actually trying to back away, not to get hit with it. And here, good job, John. Can we? It's hard to. There you go. This one hits him right in the paw.
That's not going toward the net.
No, it's not going towards the net. It hits Duchene in the paw, I think, and goes in. But again, I like I like the whole mentality from Marchman. I don't know. Well, I could look at it. Marchman seemed to be trying to put everything up to the net tonight. Shot attempts wise and blocks and misses, and I'm sure he's had 6-7 of those tonight. So I like that kind of mentality from him. He's getting good results from it. I mean, it's either hitting people and going in, or he's scoring himself.
I Love Misty just said, I don't think Sean wants to play golf with me. It's not about what Sean wants. If you want to play golf with Sean, you go buy that foursome. Don't worry about Sean. He'll go play golf with whoever
can
purchases
Sean
that.
play? Is that the day of the game? One of the games?
Yeah,
Can he play for sure?
Yeah, because he said that the games don't start till the afternoon, and it's a 9 o'clock start.
Right.
There's shotgun start. You got lunch afterwards. He can get up there.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in.
Okay.
Did you spray air freshener at least? No. Listen, don't stop trying to make that a thing. They're still trying to go back to the plumbing joke. John was the one at the root of this because he was the one sharing information.
I was the one at the toot of this.
Yes, you definitely initiated. You threw one in and ran out of the room like a little lob a grenade from outside.
I crop dusted the situation.
I love it. T Farmer said Sean would be fun for me because I'd have someone to take all my shots. There you go. See, help it out. Okay, so 45 seconds later, Wyatt Johnston scores on the rush on a Esa Lindell. I wrote down lob pass, but let's face it, it was the flip, high flip.
We have seen so many of him, and they're on point every time.
This one, he dropped it in a peach basket.
He just has the right distance on it.
Yeah.
If he's below the faceoff dot in his zone, he can generally plop it on the red line, the center line. If he's near the offensive blue line, the defensive blue line, he can drop it on the offensive blue line, and that's exactly where this one came down. And Wyatt Johnston kind of he knows, and I think what the defenseman does is he's trying to play a bouncing puck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a poor attempt. But this was all on Wyatt. That he knows the puck is coming down. He times it the right way, and it's really a couple players that are just kind of flopping around with their stick, and they take a couple different swings at it. Ultimately, Wyatt gets it, and you love it because once he gets into a little bit of space, he takes a little swerve to his right, gets Grubauer to kind of move a little bit left, and he goes back against the grain and he finds that far post.
Heck of a shot.
Yeah, it was a great shot.
30th goal for Wyatt Johnston. Yeah. He becomes the third player. So Mikko Rantanen has 30 goals. The thing is that most of them weren't with Dallas, but he is a 30-goal scorer as a Dallas Star, sort of. Jason Robertson has. Now they have a third with Wyatt. They're going to get a fourth because Duchene's goal tonight was his 29th. It's only a matter of time before he gets 30. And it's something I want to talk about on our show on Wednesday. The number of goal scorers the Stars have that can hit 30, the number that will end up with, we think, with 20. So get your projection hat, your prognostication.
Here's what I project.
Okay.
Come game 83, they're all starting with 0.
That's true.
That's the only, but it's good to have the confidence going in.
It really is.
Right? That's the nice
and
thing.
Luds, it means something for a player to say 30-goal score, 20 goal, like those numbers. It's like, we always joke about, players don't really want to go to the All-Star game. Yeah, but you tell me in the room that they won't say, 5-time All-Star, 4-time. They add up. Yep. They think about it. Yep. So 2-1.
That's what they're getting paid to do.
Right? And go into that next contract negotiation as you go say, hey, I was at the All-Star game or I won this award, I scored 30 goals. That number gets up a little higher on the contract. So that's it. There wasn't another goal till the end of the game, as if there wasn't anything going on. But
now, what's the next biggest thing you think happened, in your opinion?
The next biggest chant
for the rest of the game?
That's interesting.
If you had to sum it up.
The next biggest thing, total lack of defense.
Well, yeah. And what came out of that?
Great goaltending.
There you go.
Great goaltending.
From
actually,
DeSmith
I thought Grubauer was pretty good too, but DeSmith was almost immaculate, right? It was he gave up a goal on his second shot, and then he stopped 34 in a row. It's not bad.
See, I think from a fan's perspective, and in games, a lot of games when the scores are 2-1, and I remember hearing this in Montreal all the time, and people would talk about, man, you guys, you're winning, but it's boring hockey. It's boring. It's 2-1. It's 1-0, 3-1. I'm like, well, would you rather see us lose 6-5 or rather see us win 2-1? Oh, no. We like it when you win. But this was not a boring game.
No.
A 2-1 hockey game was not boring because there was in total, 60-some shots? 65, 67?
So the total number tonight was
know that off the top of your
68.
68.
Yeah, because I was looking
shot.
at the 2.5 pages of scoring chances.
I know.
There are boring 2-1 games, and there are high event 2-1 games, and this was more of the latter, which was exciting. Before we get to our first break, though, GM Ben said if someone buys the group to play with Sean at the golf tournament, by the end of the show, free Finnish Mafia T-shirt from me.
Why just for you?
From him, for the person that buys the group.
Oh,
Ben's
I thought you
gonna
meant
gift
for you.
himself
No,
a
not for
free
me.
T-shirt.
He's saying he will throw in a free Finnish Mafia T-shirt to the person that buys the foursome to play golf with Sean.
Let me counter with that, Ben. Let me be somebody's agent here. I think that if somebody buys that foursome, they should all in the foursome get a T-shirt.
So
because
the 3 and Sean.
Yes.
So there should be 3 shirts.
I think each member of that team should get a free shirt. I mean, let's be honest.
Let's just
here.
handing out shirts now.
No,
Here we
I'm
go.
just saying it's not a cheap foursome. This stuff costs money.
It's true.
Oprah will come out and throw the T-shirts to everyone. You get a T-shirt.
I'm just saying. I mean,
you know what it is? Every chance Luds gets, and I don't think this is mean-spirited at all. He's trying to get Ben to spend more money. You were trying to get him to buy more rounds at Cosm weeks before we went. Now you're trying to spur. I like it. Incentivize. Let's do it. Well, more of that next year on DLS Stars postgame show.
but the richest weekend in rodeo returns at Globe Life Field. Don't miss as the world's top rodeo athletes compete against the brightest rising stars in the sport for over $3 million in prize money. World champions Haley Kinsel, Stetson Wright, Jackie Crawford, and Casey Field return to Globe Life Field with an American rodeo title on the line. Come for the rodeo and stay for the party. That sounds great. Friday night features country music artist Bailey Zimmerman, and Saturday night it's headlined by Riley Green. Get your tickets now at AmericanRodeo.com and get ready for a weekend of high-flying rodeo action and the best in country music. This isn't just another Texas rodeo. There's only one place to see every reigning world champion compete. Grab your boots and hat, and we'll see you at Globe Life Field April 11th and 12th. It's back-to-back nights of unmatched competition at the American Rodeo. Friday's the final qualifying round where dreams are made or broken. Then Saturday, it's the championship round, where the best of the best go head-to-head for the ultimate title. One weekend, two unforgettable nights in Arlington.
Guess who's back? Empire Today. Just like your favorite team needs a home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. We've all been to those big box stores. You wander endlessly through the aisles. Then you somehow are hauling all these materials home. You're looking for an installer and coordinating everything yourself. Those big box stores might have a flooring department, but the person helping you with flooring may be doing sinks yesterday, could be stocking light bulbs tomorrow. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DLLS listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code DLLS. Yes, you heard right, a $350 discount with code DLLS. Restrictions apply. Visit Empire Today/DLLS for full details. And I got through it.
I was looking for some music from Bailey Zimmerman. I hit the wrong button.
And I was hearing myself on a delay. That was goofy. All right. I don't know if anybody else could hear that, though, John, if it was just us and not through the mics.
Hopefully not, because there was I could hear musical instruments being played out of Lutz's computer, which is a no-no.
There's dueling banjos.
By the way,
like
Allie
dueling
just
banjos.
said
Dueling pianos are cool too.
Bailey Zimmerman and Riley Green. Good Lord. I think that's a positive response.
Bailey Zimmerman was in my hometown this past
Yeah?
summer. Yeah, for our Hodag, it's called. And there were 60,000+ people there. He put on a heck of a show.
Ben just said, I got to give Love some lessons on running a business with a crying with laughter emoji. And Stephanie said,
please.
you better Oprah them shirts. You get a shirt. You get a shirt.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, I love it.
Get off your wallet.
Let's skim through this real quick because there's so many chances. We don't have to talk about them all. Overarching theme was Dallas had the better of the chances in the first period. They also had more shots, they had more attempts, and they had more high danger chances. All the things that you want. it didn't hold this way for the whole 60 minutes, but Luds, the first 20, while it was a little wide open, Dallas was on the front foot of those numbers, which is something we've been critical of them the last few weeks.
Yeah, but I mean, with those shots came opportunities going the other way, though. I guess
correct.
that's when I'm watching the game. It just seems like you're exchanging chances, and I, again, I'm looking towards a long playoff run, and if you get against some better teams, not saying that Seattle is not a great team, but they're not one of the top teams, and you play against some of this competition in the playoffs, and you give up. You exchange chances. A lot of times it doesn't come out on the right end. And again, our goaltenders have been so good this year, and Casey's playing great now. Otter's got his game back together now. That's great. But I don't think in the playoffs you should have to expect them to make, those kind of saves if you don't have to.
Matty Beniers was wide open one-timer, low right circle. Montour 2-on-1 out of the box. He came out of the penalty box and did that Deacon shot. Both of them DeSmith saved. That was the first period. It could have been a tie game. Rantanen had a huge chance. Marchment had a big one. In the end, 2-1. Okay, second period. Boy, it was all Seattle early, except for Matt Duchene with a really pretty one-timer. His ability to swoop into the slot and shoot without really stopping or resetting. Marchment threw it from the left circle into the slot, and Duchene can get it off his stick and on the net really quickly.
I think he's always in a position to shoot the puck, and especially for Marchment. They're similar to Hintz and Robertson. I think they're on the same wavelength. They talk a lot, but he pretty much knows where Marchment likes to be before he makes the pass. And a lot of times Marchment's in a great spot to shoot the puck, and he'll still make those passes.
What'd you think about that late second period penalty kill for the Stars? Because I had 5 quality chances, 2 high dangers, 1 from Kakko, 1 from Wright, 4 DeSmith saves, 3 saves from DeSmith, 2 missed the net.
This one, Blackwell and Becker out there?
I think so,
Yeah,
yes.
I think it was. They were a little loose. It was
Looser than you're used to seeing from the Stars, PK?
Well, yeah, looser. I mean, generally, when you see Wyatt and Hintz and guys that, generally are out there on the ice, they're moving together as groups of 4, and they move with pace, and they speed, and they anticipate it, and they don't wait for passes to happen. They can read them. I've always said that, like, offensive players can be great penalty killers because they have the instincts to know where passes are going and when they're getting them off the stick and things like that. So you can get them on both ends of the puck. And I just felt like when those two guys were out there tonight, when they were out there tonight, they didn't want to make a mistake. And you get that when you're in and out of the lineup. And I think they weren't just playing with their instincts.
Is that an okay thing to deal with because they were scratched for the last game?
Well, you would, when you're killing a penalty, you'd rather make sure you're in a shooting lane and not on the outside of it before, the other. So I think they're just playing a little bit more cautious. But when you saw, especially Blackwell, when Blackwell and Steele had played together from the start of the year, I thought they were great, and they were moving fast, and they were anticipating, and they were going. I just think sometimes when you're in and out, you just want to make sure that you're in the right places, and you don't have to chase a little bit too much. Then you get outside of a shooting lane, and when you come back to the bench, you're going to hear you have to be in that shooting lane.
Stars did have a nice chance power play late in the third period. I was just double-checking my notes here. Rope Hintz in the slot. And
is that the one he sailed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sailed it. That was Rantanen in the setup, wasn't it?
I just wonder if it stood up on him or something like that, because these guys are such pure shooters, and sometimes we can't see it on TV if the puck is wobbling a little bit. A lot of times it's just right at the last second it stands up on him and it hits your stick flat.
He's scored a couple lately where he's been able to elevate quickly and get it. The reason I really wanted to bring it up was not the fact that he missed it, but it really encapsulates what we've seen from Mikael Rantanen lately, because for as big as he is and his ability to score, boy, does he have a set of hands to set up. His passing and his saucers to 2 guys on the tape, really, really impressive.
That's his strength, I think, is his passing ability. And now, we've been talking a lot about how give them a couple games to get together and get on the same page and get caught up to each other's pace. And you see that now. Rantanen knows how to lead Rupe. I think, they're both finished, but they don't get to play a lot together, right? And so when you play against a guy, it's totally different than playing with them. You know that they're fast, but until you're right there next to them and trying to put them saucer passes and lead him and put it in the right spot, it's difficult. And I think their timing is getting down.
I'm laughing because our boss is trolling you again.
Why?
Because he can. So Colin Blackwell wasn't stupid tonight, huh? See, he's never going to forget
it. He was safe.
He was safe.
Better to be safe than stupid.
They gave up a pretty grade A look to Yanni Newman again, that young Finnish forward who's playing in his 10th NHL game tonight. Had a wrister in the slot. I didn't like the coverage again to let that open in a 2-1 game, but Casey got it.
There's lots of I didn't like the coverage
Fair.
moments tonight.
Yep.
They were, again, it'll be interesting to hear comments from the coaching staff. You know, I mean, we've heard Pete come out and call it the way it is at times, but I think the game got away from him. It didn't get away from him from a standpoint of the scoreboard, but it was just kind of going. It was pond hockey.
Mikael Granlund scored an empty net goal, his 20th of the season, from approximately 134 feet. He was inside his own defensive zone, scores on the empty net. That's it. They had another chance. And you know what's interesting, Luds, at the end, they didn't have Jamie Benn out there with a 3-1 lead looking for 400.
But he had one. He tried to get one down there. That was it.
But after that, after they scored, Seattle pulled their goalie again. And they put Robertson, Hintz, and Rantanen out there. And it looked like Hintz was trying to set Robo up with a goal there at the end, didn't it?
Let me tell you about Jamie. I don't think Jamie wants to get his 400th as an empty netter.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think he does. I mean, you'll take it, obviously.
I mean, we heard from the broadcast that his family
Ovi's
was there.
having no problem going to break the record, probably. Wouldn't that be somebody who breaks the record with an empty netter?
He might.
He probably.
The way it's going is what he's got.
Again,
9 games left, 5 goals to get there.
They don't ask you how; they just ask you how many.
Yeah,
so
and he scored.
He's got to break it on a one-timer from The Office.
That's what it should be.
That's the way it has to
should
happen.
Be. Yeah,
scripted, yes, but that empty netter wouldn't shock me either. It could happen.
Yeah, it could.
Wouldn't it be weird if it was the last game of the regular season at empty net and feels like it's almost manufactured?
Do you think he's going to get it now this year?
5-9.
So you got 5 to go, right?
5 to go, 9 games left. I think he can do it. Yeah.
I'm saying no now.
Oh,
I know I am.
We're going to talk about this a little bit more on our Wednesday show.
Back-to-back games against 2 not so good teams, I believe.
He can do it.
Coming up.
I mean, they were talking about whether or not I love the quote. Did you see Lindy Ruff? They played Buffalo the other night.
Yeah.
And Lindy said, I'm pretty confident he's not going to score 6 against us. And he said, but don't quote me on that because he knows how dangerous that could be. You look at this game and forget the details of just this one for a minute. They just swept a 4-game road trip. Now, 2 of them were in Seattle, and Seattle's a team that clearly needs a lot of work. But they went to Edmonton and won. They went to Calgary and won, even though they were being absolutely shelled at times. Anytime you win 4 in a row on a road trip, you're going to feel really good about yourself.
Yeah, and what you can say as a group, you can say, you know, we're winning hockey games and we're still not playing our best hockey. And that, I mean, what else can you ask for? And, you know, like I said, they find ways to win in all different kinds of ways, you know, whether it's goaltending or scoring shorthanded or having one of those nights where they can't keep the puck out of their net 5-on-5, but they'll score 2 or 3 power play goals or get a shorthanded goal. So you can draw back on that when you get into games or in the playoffs, and you can say, you know, here's how we won a couple games this year. We got a shorty, you know, and so those are all positive things that they can circle back to.
Going back to Jamie really quickly, 400th at home, maybe? That wouldn't be a bad touch.
Yeah, that would be a good spot.
Right?
Yeah.
Have the crowd be able to, you know, Jeff Kay, the public address announcer, could announce it, put it on the big Jumbotron, and everybody could stand up in a, you know, nice little ovation. That'd be fun for him.
I think it'd be the game. The perfect scenario would be the game winner.
Oh, and they're celebrating
to elevate them above.
Oh,
Winnipeg.
the Jets. Oh, now we're really getting the Hollywood movie scripts going tonight. Casey DeSmith now with 8-0-1 record in his last 9 starts. 9-game point streak for him. What more could you possibly want from your backup goalie?
Score a couple goals. I don't know.
I mean, that's asking for quite a bit, but why not?
I just think you know, and I think this is kind of exactly when we talked about this last game. Jake Ottinger going into the playoffs knows that there's a guy that's been really good, and if he doesn't put 2 good games together and it results in something negative, that your coach won't hesitate putting the other guy in. So I have to be my best, and I think at the end of the day, they probably want that from each other.
Allie says she wants Jamie to get his 400th at home very badly. Matthew says it's going to be against Nashville. Nina says he needs to do it Saturday when I'm in the house to see it live. Saturday would be an afternoon game against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So there's a couple of different requests there. Russell said Chubbs will get 400 against Trashville. So there you go. That's always fun. But so Wyatt Johnston, 5-game goal scoring streak. Easy for me to say. Yeah. So he scored in 5 straight games. He hits 30 goals again. He's only 21.
Mhm.
It's unbelievable. He looks, and remember, he did not have a good start to the season.
Probably the reason Jim Nill wanted to get out ahead of this.
Because it's only going up from there, right?
That's right. Salary cap's,
Yeah.
that's going to go up. And so
The other part is that he didn't have a great start to the year. And remember, this was the first year he was living on his own in the NHL, right? He had been with the Pavelskis for the first 2 years. Now he's got his own place, although he's in an area with a couple other guys. I think Harley's nearby. I want to say that Stankoven might have been nearby, but that's not here nor there now. But maybe a little bit of an adjustment coming into the season. There was some talk of maybe he was a little banged up in preseason. So, 30 goals after a slow start to the year.
there's always adjustments.
Yeah. But it's looking pretty good right now. Let's get to our next break because on the other side, it's time for Super Chats. And I know this Stars After Dark Super Chat is going to be off the hook here on DLLS. But it's time for me to do a couple of things first, and we will start with Own Well. Owning property comes with plenty of challenges, but overpaying on property tax shouldn't be one of them. Ownwell believes that when it comes to paying property tax, you should only pay what's fair. Well, the good news is it's really easy to sign up for Ownwell. It takes about 3 minutes. Get an instant estimate of tax savings that only requires a few details. Put property tax money back in your pocket in just minutes. Ownwell handles everything from start to finish and delivers top results, no upfront costs, only pay if you save. 86% of Ownwell's customers receive a reduction with average customer savings of $1,102, hundreds of thousands of happy customers, and 5-star reviews. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most counties. Save your money on your property taxes and do it with Ownwell. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com/DLLS. That's OWNWELL.com/DLLS. And now let's talk about Game Time. Look, if you're watching this, you've probably been to a hockey game. There's nothing that beats it. It's the speed, the energy, the intensity, the passion, all those things that just don't translate as much on TV as they do when you're in person. You need to get Game Time. It has a new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to your favorite teams to see them live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have the super deal right up front, all-in pricing, panoramic seat views, much more. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. You download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Hey, Luds, what time is it?
Oh, must be game time.
All right. Time for Super Chats. And boy, are we going to have a fun one tonight. I have a feeling. John, let's tee it up. Let's start it. Let's go.
Well, first and foremost, T Farmer, if you are still in the chat, when I opened YouTube, I saw you had a super chat earlier, but I don't see it in our software that we do it from. So if there was one in there that was missing from before we went live, please send it again or something. Don't want it to get lost in the shuffle of the super chats. But up first,
Bing bang.
if I can find it, Misty.
I Love Misty 1985 with a Pavelski and a Ludwig. Amidst all the hair pulling and teeth gnashing, the Stars somehow have a 6-game win streak. Parenthetical footnote, a 9-game point streak. It is agonizing. The Stars allowed 221 shots on goal in these games, but thankfully we have Otter and Casey to Stonewall. Think about that, Lutz. They have, over a 6-game winning streak, allowed 221 shots on goal and won them all.
Like I said, they're finding ways to win. Not ideal, but they're getting it done.
That's averaging, 221 divided by 6, 36.8 shots against. That's a lot. That's almost 40.
That's good.
That's a bit high.
That's a bit high.
But you know what? They don't ask you how. They just ask
Right.
you how many. And right now, it is a 7-0-2 point streak, including 6 in a row. There are so many teams in the league that would love to be underperforming stylistically and still winning. and the Stars are winning.
How many goals they scored in that?
I would have to look that up real quick.
Why don't you look that up real quick?
Let's see. So tonight's game, they scored 3. If we quickly scroll down to their game by game, which I will be approaching any moment now, let's see. 3, 6, 10, 23. 23 goals in 6 games.
Well,
that's not bad.
So, 6 times 4. That's 4 goals.
And
4 goals a game.
Goals against 2, 0, 3. That's 5, 7, 8. Tonight's 9. So they're getting outshot, but they outscored them 23-9.
Right.
How do you win 6 in a row? You have a plus 14 goal differential during those games. That's how you win. And special teams and goaltending is a pretty big deal. All right, let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Jordan, talk hockey with me with a DeSmith and 99 cup here. Luds needs a Miller Lite.
I need a Miller Lite.
Pavelski.
I do need one.
Go Stars. How about that? Jordan paid for a couple of drops. We keep going. Thanks, Jordan.
You know what else you need, Luds?
What's
It
that?
didn't work.
Well, he set it up and then silence.
I guess the button broke.
Oh, hi, I can say slut.
I'll do that one instead. I like that one.
What were you go? Oh, you were going to go for
I was
the
trying to do
milkshake.
slutty milkshakes. I don't know why it wouldn't work.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Let me try it over here now.
Cat was
now I
playing
wanna
with
hear
it last game. He's going to finish his chicks. Oh, no.
We're just going to go
Slutty
through Luds'
milkshakes.
greatest hits.
There it is.
Slutty milkshakes.
There it
we
is.
found it.
It's well past
Bing
midnight.
bong.
A good time for it. Ardell with a Bischel and Lindell. Did Luds like what he saw from the Stars defensemen in front of their own net tonight? Esa Lindell is a special player.
S. Lindell is a special player. You know what? I really take into account the way they're, they have to play the game. But I do think they've been better. I think they've been better from the standpoint of some positioning. Do they allow them to get behind them once in a while? Yes. Do they leave the area? Yes, but that's how they're supposed to play. So I think within the system, they're fine. They're better. They're better.
Everybody loves the slutty milkshake. They're all giggling.
Where did
Allie
that
said
come
she's
from?
crying
Slutty milkshakes.
laughing.
Where does that come from?
Do you remember?
No, I don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask.
Because
Slutty milkshake.
you were talking about with
What-
one of our super chats about Culver's.
Yeah, but why did it?
And
why did
you
it say
said you like malts. But somebody said, "Oh,
No.
Luds is having a milkshake."
No, and I said malts.
And you said you like malts.
Yeah.
And so then the next super chat you read said malts are a slutty milkshake. So you said it. And
But
then you said
somebody brought that up.
And
It
then you
wasn't-
said, "Can you say slut?" Oh, you can say slut.
yeah. Well, okay. Slutty So that's what it
milkshakes.
was. It was.
The best one though was John trolled all of us in the
But
next
why did they
cold
say
open.
slutty milkshake? Why
Because
did they say that?
I
Why are they called slutty milkshakes? I guess that's where I'm getting at.
that's a great question.
Can somebody answer that question?
I don't have an answer to because that was one of our super chats was basically comparing a malt to a slutty milkshake. It sounded
Slutty
funny.
milkshakes.
John, we need that other drop. The what's a slutty milkshake?
I meant to do that before the weekend, and then
Yeah, you're excused.
Are
You
there
got
any more
to
bing
things happens.
bongs? Or?
Oh yeah, we do. Many more. Many
I'm
more.
getting a lot of drop requests in the normal chat as well.
The problem is in the normal chat, we're going to run out of time with super chats. So you really got to use your hard-earned dollars for a super chat to get the drops.
some milk.
We're
I
just
like
not going
that
to be able
one,
to go through them all. But Cowboy from Hell got one. That's good. Even though
where do we
Cowboy
leave
from
off?
Hell was trying to accuse me of being Sam in the bathrooms, which is not the case. All right, let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Stars 25 Cup year. There's the is that the goat? That's Wyatt and Otter. That picture again. It's a Haskin and 99 Cup year. Rate 1 through 10. How hard of a push should the Stars make to pass the Jets? Jets still have the head-to-head with the Stars and play some high-quality teams.
I get past them. I mean, I just think let somebody else face Colorado if you can. Like, who would that work out to be right now? It would be them.
Well, no.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it would be St. Louis.
Well, I would rather.
Minnesota's on the verge. We talked about the pregame. Would you rather, if you're Dallas Stars, would you rather play St. Louis
No, but not if
Colorado?
If Dallas moves ahead of Winnipeg.
Then it would be Winnipeg versus Colorado.
That's what I mean.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dallas.
Then one of those two are gone. I mean, that's the good news.
That's an ideal scenario.
As long as you can, you take care of your business. Because I would think that, it seems like a no-brainer that you're probably going to have to go through both of those teams if you finish in second place. You're going to have to go through Colorado, then eventually you're going to have to go through Winnipeg. But we'll see. Winnipeg doesn't seem to play the same way in playoffs as they do in the regular season.
Boy, and they were out quickly last year, and it was a very big disappointment for them. Of course, the Stars did win the division, and they got Vegas in the first round, which didn't seem like much of a reward.
Vegas is going to be tough again. I mean, they always are.
Vegas has won 6 in a row, and their next victory will get them to 100 points.
The one team that I don't think is playing as well and is going to be playing as well is Edmonton.
Just looking at them.
Well,
it's because 97's hurt.
Well, he's not there, but even when he was there, they weren't playing, their whole season from the goaltender out.
Do you think St. Louis is going to pass Minnesota in the wild card?
I do. I just don't think it doesn't sound like I haven't heard anything about Kaprizov if he's going to make it back in time. So
the last I saw, and we'll see because the Stars will play Minnesota next Sunday. I had heard some stuff about he might start skating soon, but boy,
yeah, well,
they can't get him back soon enough.
Miro's skating soon too. I was skating, I guess, but yeah, I just think that, and they don't have a lot of bullets in their gun, and I just think they have to play so tight. But if goaltending,
which they have,
goaltending can do it, and Buddy hasn't been that guy lately. So I mean, at some point maybe the season takes.
And they need Kaprizov to be the X factor because he is their X factor. Let's go to the next one.
Bing bang.
Burned Oils with a little Brendan Smith and Neil Broughton. No, Broughton's 7. Who's 8? Where's he 8? I always forget that one.
7.
Yeah. So who's was trying to remember that. We'll read the chat and then I'll figure it out. Our Stars are still in the playoff. Let's not talk about golf. Sounds like Burned Oils doesn't want to play golf.
Well, that's never a good thing. When that's basically saying you're out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, I get that.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah. We're talking about the DLLS Stars golf tournament, which will be going on during the first round of the playoffs. So we can talk about having a fun golf outing, but we're not talking about the Stars players going to play golf.
Right.
Because,
but he's don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Everybody has.
Blame it on Ben. Ben's the one that arranged this golf tournament.
That's very true.
We're in the playoffs, right? It's on the 25th.
It is. Yeah. Well, we'll be in the first round,
and we could actually even be having a game that day, which would not be good for.
I don't think that would be ideal,
show.
Would it?
No, could be a short show.
Bill Goldsworthy
was goalie. Yeah,
that's number
goalie?
8. Yeah. I was trying to remember. He's one of the retired numbers, and for some reason, I always forget about Goldsworthy as far as who it was. But he wore 8 from 1968 through 1977 with. But his number didn't get retired until later because some other guys, Dirk Graham, Brian Lawton, Terry Rakowski, Larry Murphy, Jim Johnson, Kent Anderson, they all wore it after Goldsworthy. So anyway, little history for you. Let's go to the next one.
Bing bang.
Stars 25 Cup here with their second. A Haskin and 99. Also 2 phantom penalties tonight. Marchment penalty was beyond soft. And Bischel's penalty, I still don't know what I was supposed to be looking at.
I agree with that one. I didn't understand Bischel's either.
The only thing I saw was when they were trying to, the TV broadcast was zooming in on Cody Ceci in the front of the net. Bischel looked like he was, I couldn't see which player it was for Seattle, but it was off in the left corner. Mm-hmm. There was contact. So, and the referee was over there. So maybe there was something we just didn't see. Yeah. But for whatever reason, the TV truck thought it was Ceci in front of the net, and they showed that replay twice. So they didn't help us out. You had the wrong guy.
Wake up, Vito.
Bing bang.
Tanner with a Madonna and 99 Cup here. What a great road trip for Dallas. Just starting to think about the additions of Segi and Miro when we get to the playoffs and what that will do for the group. Cheers from me, Kevin, and the RC&E crew. Thanks, Tanner. You and I talked about this the other day, and the thing that I really like is obviously they're 2 elite players, but you talked about the energy that will give to the rest of the group, the enthusiasm, the anticipation of getting those guys back in the lineup. But it's not always flip the switch and they're in and it's perfect. It's going to be like watching Rantanen acclimate with the Stars. That sort of assimilation is a ramp up.
How long has Tyler been skating now? 2 to 3 weeks?
At least, yeah. Actually. I would say so.
And he's obviously feeling better and feeling good, and he's got to take some contact, things like that.
Yep.
But you would think that Miro would need to be in that same situation.
Probably the
Right.
same timetable. Yeah.
So if Miro needs 3 weeks or so, we're talking about the playoffs have started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
and that's without contact and everything.
Yeah.
He would have to go through the same process, I would assume. Now maybe he's going to get there a little quicker, but
I wonder what and I don't know this because I haven't had either, knock on wood, either surgery, but if it's easier or harder to come back from a knee than it is from a hip like that. The hip feels like a really...
well, especially when you're having 2 of them done.
Well, and also with what Tyler went through, again, it's December to now. It's been longer. Miro's injury happened late January, so it was almost 2 months later.
I don't think. Does anybody know what actually he had?
Who, Miro?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No,
I haven't heard anything.
Stars have not said a word about it other than he had knee surgery.
Yeah.
So they didn't have any details. And honestly, Luds, if we get any, it probably won't be till after the season's over.
Yeah.
If we do it all. They might just say knee. They may not say what. The speculation, purely speculation, based on where it came from, coming from that side, was MCL. But again, who's to say? Could be meniscus.
Yeah.
Could the ACL be involved? The PCL, like LCL, all those ligaments. It's hard to say. So, all right, let's go to the next one.
Bing bang.
Nate G with a Brennan Smith and year after the cup. Pay DeWall 117 saves of his last 121 shots on goal. He's been really good. And if you want to do the math on that, 967 save percentage in that stretch.
That's pretty good, right?
That's really good.
That's really
yeah.
good. Yeah.
And
you know what else? When you watch him play from when we watched him from the beginning of the year, he seemed a little all over.
Yes.
Now he's more in control. For whatever reason, he just seems to be more in control.
You think? Well, he's played a little bit more too. I think that helps.
Yeah, it could be. I don't
Confidence
know. He
has to be sky
was
high.
Spinning around like a top at times. He lost his net a couple of times. Now he just seems in control of his game, and maybe that's as simple as it is. He's in a rhythm now.
When we come back, I want to talk about
Just tomorrow?
No.
Oh.
We're going to talk about DLS diehards in a second. But up next, let's talk about the schedule because I have an idea of how they're going to use these two goalies the next 3 games at home here on DLS. I have an update for you. Diehards. Let's show them where that QR code is.
It's right about here.
Scan it.
Right there.
Look at that. He barely had to move. He knew exactly where it was.
I've been preparing for this one.
Scan your phone on that right now, and that will take you to the DLLS diehard sign-up page.
See how I'm showing you where the scanner is?
Yeah. Look at
Right
that.
there.
Perfect.
That's the
It's under Miro.
That's the scanner.
I would like to point out that Lud's in his playing career was all about efficiency, and it hasn't changed here at the show. If you get to this page, that'll help you sign up to be a diehard. And there are a bunch of big features of being a diehard.
Right over here is
There's Razor.
Razor.
Yep. Hi, Razor. Hi, Miro. One of the great features is you get the discount on events. Well, we talked about the golf tournament a little earlier. Stevens Park, April 25th, 9 o'clock shotgun start. Range balls to warm up.
And free finish shirts.
Well,
what's it called? Fins?
We'll get to that in a second.
Finish
This
Mafia.
one.
Yeah, free shirts.
Well, not for everybody. You're not giving them out to the whole. Ben said if you bought the Sean Shapiro foursome,
you get 4 free shirts.
he would give you a
4 free
shirt.
shirts.
Lud's
What are
up
they
the
supposed to
ante.
do? Share them? They're going to wear it like every 2
Yeah,
holes?
that's
or?
probably fair.
Yeah.
Guess what? Speaking of the Finnish Mafia shirt, you can get this if you go onto the DLS.
I got another deal
website.
here. Hang on.
Oh, he's
Listen,
wheeling.
Lud's
Listen.
making his own deals now.
No, no. Here, this
These
is
all
for
need to
us,
be
John.
cleared
This
with
is for us.
corporate. Okay.
If there's no other guys from the baseball and the football and the basketball that
Hosts.
don't show up, then we should all get shirts because we would be the only sports team attending or sports whatever you call us.
Hosts.
Yeah,
Show
that too.
crew. Yeah, I agree.
mean, don't you think that's fair?
I think so.
We're showing the commitment. We're coming.
We've
committed.
we've got we had a Cosm night.
You know how
we
many
had
shirts of them we could sell if they gave us shirts
Oh,
to
yeah.
wear around town?
Yeah.
At the club?
Well, this is one of them. You could wear this.
And
You
what
can get
club would
this.
that be, Luds?
That would be
Certain clubs.
where's
Not rare.
my Angels from Hell?
Oh, no, he's talking about
No,
the
Cowboys
Cowboy.
from Hell. Where are we at?
Yeah, they're there in the chat somewhere.
He knows what club I'm talking about.
So that shirt, John,
Or she.
I ordered that. It shipped today. I got an email saying your order has shipped. So I will be wearing that soon on the show. So you'll get to see it firsthand. I bought it. Didn't wait for Ben to give me one because I knew that might take forever.
Is that on the front or the back?
It's the front.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks a really good looking shirt. So we'll debut that on our show as soon as it arrives. And you can also get a free shirt with your first year signing up for being a DLS diehard. You can use that one. The Rangers dropped a couple new shirts just for the beginning of the season. They've played 4 games already. They beat the Red Sox 3 out of 4. So it was exciting that Boston won opening day, and then less exciting they lost 3 in a row to the Rangers. I know there's lots of Rangers fans watching, and we're very happy for you. Jacob deGrom looked really good, by the way. Plus, as being a diehard, you can also get all the writing from Sean, from Sam. We have a Discord-only NCAA hockey bracket, which...
Sam's going to have to get out of ICU first.
That's true. My NCAA Frozen Four bracket did not go well because I picked Maine to win it all, and they lost to Penn State in the first game. I was okay with it. I went blind homer. It was like if North
How's
Dakota...
BC doing?
They had a great game, but they lost to Denver. And you know that because Ryan Leonard watched for the Washington Capitals.
He's playing tomorrow.
Is he going to play tomorrow? Because I know he signed already.
They got him in the lineup apparently tomorrow night.
Ovi going for goals. Ryan Leonard debut. They're having a tough season, aren't they?
Yeah, struggling.
Yeah, feel for them. All that and more, tons of diehard stuff. Make sure that you check it out and sign up today. All right. Before we get to the next Super Chat, Luds, I want to look at the Stars schedule real quick and tell you how I think they're going to do this, because not only are they winning, but there's really no wrong answer when it comes to goalies because they've both been playing really well. Stars will play on Thursday night against the Nashville Predators at home. Jake's going to start because you're not going to have Jake sit for a whole week. He played on Saturday against Seattle. He's going to get the next game. The next 2 are personal meaning games. Home against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Pittsburgh's well, okay.
Got to be Casey DeSmith. He used to play for the Penguins. And then Sunday in Minnesota, that's Jake's favorite place to play. If I'm Pete DeBoer, that's how I do the next 3 games.
Yeah. Well, that's not splitting atoms over here.
I'm just saying it lines up well because then technically you could go back to Casey because you're playing Vancouver, his team he played for last year, or you could go Jake. Then Thursday the 10th, it's Winnipeg. You know Otter's getting that game. And who's better at beating Utah than Casey DeSmith?
If the Stars are not going to be able to overtake Winnipeg for whatever reason,
maybe
prior
DeSmith.
to that game, would you still play him against Winnipeg?
That's interesting.
Because if it doesn't go well, and you may have to meet him in the second round, I don't know.
I don't know if there's enough there.
Jake will want to play. Let's just.
I think so. I think he always wants to. The real question, Luds, is let's say they do play Casey on Saturday this week against Pittsburgh. It's really not asking Jake to do too much to play 3 games in 5 days.
I just wonder if they'll play Hellebuck.
That's a great
if
question,
the game
too.
doesn't mean anything.
Well, if it doesn't mean anything, you might see Comrie and you might see DeSmith. So, but it may also depend, too, on if they want to play Casey against the Canucks or not. You know, if you want to balance them out. Either way, I thought it was interesting that Pete said this morning that they didn't want to overplay either goalie at this stretch of the season, probably because they know, barring something wild, they're going to be at least the number 2 seed in the Central.
Well, like I said in the pregame show, the reason that he can say that now is because he's got your so-called backup guy playing really, really good.
And an 8-point lead over the Avalanche, who, by the way,
lost in a shootout. Yep.
So Calgary got a couple points.
Well, and I said this. To me, when I saw Drury went first, Coyle went second, and I was like,
so no McKinnon, no McCarr in the shootout?
No. And so I'm thinking.
What was it? Val was the third one?
Val ended up going third, which they went 0 for 3. But just when they let off with those 2 guys, I'm like, wait a second now. So anyway, they may be saying, listen, this is where we're going to finish, so we can let some other guys jump in here.
By the way, looks like we've had a really pleasant Winnipeg fan, Charlie, in the chat tonight, and everybody seems to be pretty much enjoying. We like that we can commingle with fans of other teams.
I think Allie recruited him to be a diehard.
I mean,
we have a Jets fan who's a Dallas Stars diehard.
Why not?
Subscriber.
I mean, the more the merrier, right? Welcome, Charlie. Thanks for joining the show or tuning in. And
you are going right under the bus. in the postseason. If
Oh,
there's
yeah,
any.
but that's all in good fun, right? It's all right. Just remember, our producer is a Bruins fan, so he'll be cheering for however helps the Bruins.
I'll be cheering for mediocrity for 3 to 4 seasons.
Draft picks. He wants nothing but draft picks.
Bing bang.
Let's go to the Super Chats. Be ready, Luds. We got a hat throw. Stars Cup year, 25 Cup year. A Haskin 99 feel like the top line tonight was playing defense 90% of their shifts. Mikko is quickly accelerating freight train when he wants to be. That's very true.
Yeah.
Did you feel like the Stars top line didn't have as much as far as scoring opportunities tonight in your mind? I mean, they had a few.
Yeah, they had a few. I mean, were they kind of stuck in neutral? Is that what you're trying to say, or going through the motions? I don't know. I don't know how high the meter was registering for everybody.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at a chat.
Why do I talk?
I'm laughing because
I don't know why I talk.
I glanced down and I see my name because Allie wrote, also, I want to point out to Owen that he made a slutty milkshake suggestion to me going
Slutty
to a
milkshakes.
friend's. I shared a pic in Discord of playing video games.
I'm not sure.
Do you want to throw the hat back to John?
Yeah.
Boy,
What? I swear to God, I'm not.
There he goes. Luds has turned on his volume about 5 times tonight. Oh, it came back on again. There goes the hat. It fell well short.
Well, what the hell? What button is it?
Are you doing? Is it doing?
I'm not.
Oh,
even,
is that Owen talking?
I'm not even touching the computer.
He's got the YouTube on. You should click on the little sound. Oh my God, you just hit refresh again. More sounds. He's trying to get to the
Am
chat.
I hitting the refresh?
I don't know what you're doing.
Are you hitting the flesh? Is that what you just said?
The Wii flesh?
Oh my God, I love
what
it.
I'm hitting over here.
Oh
I'm
my
not
goodness.
even touching it.
All right.
Don't touch the reflesh.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Reflex.
Bing bang.
Ryan Chambers with a little Ottinger and Ludwig. Y'all still worried about how they're playing going into the final stretch? There's still a twinge of anxiety about how they're playing because they really need to be playing well going to the playoffs. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement, but they keep winning, so that's a good problem to have.
I agree. And if you win 6 in a row and you're complaining about style, that's the one I'm giggling at. Reflesh. But you're right. I mean, look who's spinning their wheels. Look who's fighting.
I like
to get
Gallagher,
in.
by the way, too.
Do you?
Oh, I
The
like
game?
that game.
Yeah, that's a classic arcade
Yeah.
game. 80s. Comedy writes itself here. It's very true. Hitting the flesh.
Presented by Miller Lite.
That's right.
Speaking of which,
Hitting
you
the
can buy a
flesh tonight.
foursome with Sean Shapiro.
You should. You would effectively be playing with a Dallas Stars host here on the pod.
Bing bang.
There you go, Luds. How would you say that super chat?
Which one?
The one on the screen.
Gaboro?
It looks like Gabaroo. You think?
I don't know.
Well, it's from
Devils
England
fans saying,
because
hey, and
it's
liking the show.
2 pounds. Devils fans saying, hey, and liking the show. Thank you, Gabaroo. I'm going with Gabaroo.
Okay. Gaboro.
Devils fan in England. How about that?
What time is it over there? Like 4 a.m., 5 a.m.?
No, breakfast.
Oh, yeah?
6, 7 in the morning, I think. Let's say maybe even close to 8. I mean,
We should pull an all-nighter.
right now,
I'm good.
Run to the store, John.
I'm gonna make Owen end the show in a minute. So
hey, Luds, it's almost
We done?
7 a.m. in London right now.
Okay.
And in all of England. All right, go to the next one, John.
that is the last one.
The last super chat. Oh, we want to get
Are we
out
at
of
our
here,
time
Jess.
limit, too?
We have 60 seconds left before we are.
Oh,
at
you timed that.
Unless
you
you
did
wanna-
that on purpose.
Unless you want to go to overtime. Just to upset
No,
John.
I
not
think
going
our
to overtime.
producer is going to just turn the power
I'm
off.
going to bedtime.
What's the last one? Or
Oh
did we already
boy,
go
this
live?
one.
That
So
was the last
Gabaroo
one.
sent one in the regular chat, Luds. Odd question, but do you think that Dallas would use Metallica's "Nothing Else Matters" in mix with the Pantera music? The Pantera music kicks, but I feel like it's very front and center.
Yeah. Well, that's what I used. Nothing else matters.
Mhm.
Now, I did that with the Allen team, too.
Did you?
I made a video and played it in the championship game for them because it was game 7 and we had to go to overtime. That was anyway. Yeah, but I you know what? I just think that this is a different different generation. I'm not sure that they might be playing Taylor Swift or something in there. I don't know.
Oh, I would be so game for that.
Oh,
He's a big time.
You
Swiftie.
couldn't bring that.
Really?
You couldn't bring that up
he's
before
a
we were at the
huge
60-minute mark.
By the way, Jageyes, JAIGI77 just signed up for Diehards. Can't wait.
That'd
for
be
the finish.
Jageyes.
Can't wait for the Finnish Mafia T-shirt. Thank you for
Well, if
signing
you
up.
golf, you're with obviously Sean. You're probably going to get a free shirt because the four of you guys will get shirts for free.
Well, now that you sign up for being a diehard, you get 20% off events.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if you
Save
golf
some
with
money.
Sean, because Ben's going to give them free.
So sign
4
up for that
shirts.
too. There you go.
All right, let's go home.
All right, let's call it a night. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will be back on Wednesday for our show, 2:00 Central Time.
I thought we had a show tomorrow.
Nope, day off tomorrow. We got a back-to-back weekend, Luds,
Wait, it said 2:00 in the schedule, didn't it?
on Wednesday.
What is today?
Today's Monday.
Oh,
Now into Tuesday. We're off Tuesday.
wait, we can't have a show on Wednesday. I got a
can.
dinner to go to.
You can go after our show to dinner.
Oh, okay. Do we have any more bing bongs? Anybody jump in while I was
Nope,
rambling?
that's why I've said to end the show like 9 times.
I was giving somebody a
Thank you so much for joining us late. Luds is trying to drag it out.
slutty milkshakes.
For John Andersen, for Craig Ludwig, I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks for joining us. Stars win
Kind of
again.
hang around a little longer.
See you Wednesday here on the show.
Release the Kraken.
We all silly like the mayor.